Stan Davids.
Hi, Stan.
Hi, Abby.
How are you? How's the family? Are they doing okay?
Okay, hi. Okay, I didn't expect to see you today as opposed to tomorrow.
Well, when I
we're
saw your,
flexible.
when I saw your name, we said, we're coming.
Okay.
Hi, Stan. It's
I'm
been a
coming.
long time, Merle.
Hi, Stanley.
Hi, wow. Oh, Karen, Rabbi, ma'am. Hi. Where are you, Karen, or should I not ask?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sitting at home on Elvira Street.
Oh, hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Oh, hi, hi, Merle. And I'm trying out these headphones to see if it amplifies better.
Okay, I mean, that's fine. Headphones don't work all that well for me because they don't love hearing aids. So listen. So that's why I like the screen setup so I can read lips. Hello, how's everybody?
Hi.
Very good.
Taya, okay, all right. All right, what do we have here? All right.
Hi, Linda.
Hi.
You know,
Hi, Andrea.
How are you?
Karen, with you here,
Okay.
you know the incredible pressure you're creating, right? You understand that.
I just want to study with you. It's okay.
Yeah. You're probably going to submit a report. Karen.
Oh, crap.
Lynn, oh,
Morning, everyone.
hi, Lynn. Oh, God,
Shalom, almost.
I am in real trouble.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, right, you wouldn't, right?
What do you need? It's done.
I may develop a migraine and just leave, okay? All right. All right.
You realize this is interactive. Yeah. I'm not going to interact. I'm just going to listen.
All right. Lovely group of people. Hello, everybody. All right. Kind of a gray, gloomy day. The ocean is just sitting there, so that's not good. Let's see. Oh, Rick Sanchez. Hi, Rick. Are you there? All right.
My dog Olive's joining.
I'm waiting for John to decide that he'll let me try.
What do you,
Well, Stanley, since we're not going to start with the Devar Torah, since you are a walking Devar Torah, I will tell you about a text I just received from my daughter, which says, had my solo Seder last night. I hid the afikomen, but after 4 cups of wine, I have no idea where it is.
I love it. I saw something this morning which had 2 pictures. One is labeled Easter, one is labeled Passover. The picture under Easter is of the Pillsbury Doughboy, And the picture under Passover is a matzah person. And the one for Easter says, he has risen. And the one under Passover says, no, he hasn't.
That's cute.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Okay. Opening room now. Okay, so we're
What?
going, yes? Hi, everybody. I'm first of all very grateful to Rabbi Leader for having reached out to me and for having invited me to serve as one of the teachers of this very special community. I wrote that before I saw the people who are actually here. So now I mean it much more than when I wrote it. I'm also grateful to Rabbi Nickerson for opening up today's opportunity for me to be with you, and to Don Levy. Don has certainly borne with an incredible number of stupid questions from me as we were setting this up. And he is infinitely patient so far, and I am grateful. So in the process of doing a little teaching, a little studying, a little bit of conversation, I would like to reveal one of my core prejudices. By sharing one of my prejudices, you can hold that against me and therefore come to have some control of the situation. So, core prejudice. I believe that Chevre Torah, the groups of people who study Torah on a regular basis, either Torah narrowly defined as the 5 books of Moses, or Torah writ large, which really means all of Jewish learning, the vast library of Jewish learning. I happen to believe that these Chevre Torah, wherever they are found, are the greatest guarantor that there will be a rich and meaningful Jewish future. That is pure prejudice. So I want you to know that I'm not open-minded and liberal about what goes on in the Jewish world. Lots of things are nice. What we're doing today is critically important, and I am really honored and delighted and pleased to be able to be with you. So let's get moving. Our format will be simple. I will present on the selected topic, something dealing with love in the age of coronavirus. I'll do as much as I can. I have asked Don to allow all of you to participate. That is to say, anywhere along the line you want to rebut, add, criticize, personally attack, do whatever it is that brings you joy, because Shabbat is coming. Raise your hand, I'll call on you. And the reason I've decided to go this way, I have more material that I could possibly take care of in a 45-minute or hour period. Your questions, your insights, your challenges, your personal insults, whatever they happen to be, they're much more important than what I have to say. Be involved. Let me hear. We're all good. We're all learning. And we'll go on as much as time will permit. I will attempt to keep us on target and keep to the topic as much as possible. So we're going to teach one another. And if that happens over the course of this hour, kol hakavod, we've done well. So let's say together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Thank you, God, for having sanctified us by your commandment, for having brought us together in this.
Wait.
Okay, somebody needs to mute a little bit, okay? Because when the rabbis talk, well, it doesn't matter, you go to sleep. But has permitted us to come together and to study and to engage in the mitzvah of Torah study. Okay, this is Friday around at noon. And so what special greetings do Jews extend to each other Friday afternoon, today, the 10th of April. What is the greeting? What's the greeting? Okay, Valerie.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom works. Okay, good for Valerie. What else? There are more answers out there. What else could we say to each other this Friday afternoon? Shabbat Shalom. Yeah. What else? What else? Let's see. Oh, Nancy.
Stay safe, stay healthy.
Oh, yeah. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll definitely go with that. Any others? Any other greetings for today? Somehow I don't have all the pictures on my third screen.
Happy Passover. Abby.
Happy Passover in Hebrew.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. So this is a Chag. We're in the middle of the Chag, so that goes as well. Have you ever heard the phrase, let's see, Moadim l'simcha?
Hagim uzmanim l'sashon.
Et Yom Chag Hamoed. Yeah, we can do the whole bracha here. Yeah. What does the phrase Moadim l'simcha mean? Why do we say it today? Good. Good. Maybe I know something. I don't know. I still don't have pictures for anyone. Oh, a little bit better now on the third screen. Moadim l'simcha is what Jews say to each other in between the opening and the closing festival days of Passover. Okay, this Shabbat is Shabbat Chol Hamoeid Pesach. That's a very long line. Chol Hamoeid means intermediate days, basically, of the festival. So if we were Orthodox Jews, how many days would we be celebrating Passover?
8.
8, Abby. 8. Abby not only answered, but she used hand signals, and that's great. 8, okay? 8. But if we were the majority of Reform Jews, how long is Passover for us? Hand signals are getting out. We got numbers. Yeah, 7. Yeah, you got to move over. I only saw 5, but I'm sure there were 2 more on the other side. There are 7. So in the Reform community worldwide, we observe Pesach 7 days. In the Orthodox community, in Israel today, in the conservative community, and among some Reform Jews, Passover is observed 7 days. So on a 7-day festival, the first day is Yom Tov, is Chag. The last day, 7th day, is Chag. The days in between are Chol Hamoeid. But if we're observing 2 days Yom Tov at the beginning, 2 days Yom Tov at the end, because it's an 8-day observance, then again, the days in between are Chol Hamoeid. Everybody, in this we have worldwide Jewish coming together. It is a miracle, probably end quickly, but it's a miracle. And that is, we are all in Chol Hamoeid now. And this evening, tomorrow, is Shabbat Chol Hamoeid Pesach. It is the Sabbath that falls in between the festival days of Passover. Does that make a difference tomorrow morning? Does that make a difference tomorrow morning? Any thoughts?
No,
Pardon?
no, it doesn't.
Okay, that was a quick answer, not correct, but it was a really good answer, and it was quick.
Yes, it does. It does make a difference because we have matzah instead of challah.
That is true. That is a gastronomic perspective on the difference tomorrow. But I'm going to share the truth. Normally, tomorrow morning, we would be reading from the Sedra that followed last week and would be going next week. We should be reading Shmini tomorrow morning. We're not going to be doing it. We're going to be reading the special Torah readings for Shabbat Chol Hamoeid Pesach. And as someone who has trained B'nai Mitzvah kids a lot over the centuries, messing up on what the Torah assignment is for Chol Hamoeid, Pesach, or Sukkot is close to a fatal injury. And that's why I have, oh, where is it? Here. This is for, the rabbi should not pay attention. I'm giving away one of our trade secrets. Without this book, we die. This is called the Comprehensive Hebrew Calendar, and it tells you all of the exceptions, the strange, the weird, all the things that go on. And this one goes all the way up until 2099. So I'm intending to use this book all the way through. Maybe too much wine from the Passover table, but that's where it is. So the Torah readings this Shabbat Chol Hamoeid Pesach come from the book of Exodus and the book of Numbers, not the regular flow of Torah readings. And the book of Exodus Torah reading sets out the initial commandments for Passover, and the one in the book of Numbers, 28, 19 to 25, gives us some more of the details about how to observe Passover. So the readings are quite appropriate for Shabbat, Chol Hamoeid Pesach. But are we done with the problems? No, because there's a special haftarah. Anybody know what that haftarah is going to be tomorrow morning? Anyone know?
Song of Songs.
Pardon?
Is it the Song of Songs?
Nancy, you're really close, but you jumped a little bit, but it's good. Hold. The haftarah, as we all know, always has to come from the section of the Bible known as prophets. So it's going to be a prophet. It is the prophet Ezekiel. What's the most famous passage in the book of Ezekiel? At
Dry
least,
bones.
yeah. Them
What?
bones, them bones, them dry bones, them. That comes from the book of Ezekiel. We read Ezekiel chapter 37 as the haftarah, and we read about the physical resurrection of the Jewish people in Babylonian captivity. Fine, that just hold on to that. So tomorrow morning, haftarah, book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, the valley of dry bones. Oh man, son of man, can these bones live? And Ezekiel, playing humble, says, oh God, you're the one who knows. Tell me. And then they do good things together. The bones rise. And Ezekiel is telling about the resurrection of the Jewish people from their slavery. And that connects to the story of Passover. Not bad. But something else goes on tomorrow. We read a Megillah, and that Megillah was named.
Ecclesiastes.
Pardon?
Shir HaShirim.
Shir HaShirim. Shir HaShirim, the Song of Songs. So, back up a little bit. What's a Megillah?
Scroll.
A scroll. Is that, Miriam, was that you?
Yes, it is me. I can't find myself here, but I'm
I found you.
Miriam Alperin.
You're right there. Yeah, you're
Thank
right
you.
there. I see you. Okay. This technology, Don, this is fabulous. Okay. So A Megillah is a scroll. When I was vastly younger, I thought Megillah was a gorilla, but that's a whole different. A couple of you smiled. Some of you have blank looks. There's an age difference. Okay, now, a Megillah is a scroll. There are how many scrolls called Megillot in Jewish? I see a hand with
5.
5 fingers. Yes, there are 5. Let's go back a second. We know what the Tanakh is, yes? We know the Tanakh. The Tanakh is the Hebrew way of referring to the Jewish Bible. As one of the post-Vatican II concessions, the Pope now has stopped, or the popes since then, have stopped referring to the Hebrew Bible as Old Testament, understanding that that's like putting us down. The popes now refer to our Bible as Tanakh. That insults nobody, that informs everybody. It works. Life is good. Easter is Sunday, so all is good. Now, Tanakh is an acronym. 3 letters, Taf, Nun, Chaf. Torah,
Nevi'im,
that's easy. Nevi'im, which means
prophets.
prophets. Torah, prophets, and then Ketuvim.
Chronicles.
Yeah. Writings from Kotev, Lichtov, Kotev, Michtav, writing. So the Hebrew Bible is divided into 3 sections: Torah, prophets, holy writings, Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim, the acronym Tanakh. That's what it is. Now, we read the Torah every Shabbos morning, or excuse me, if you're quite modern, every Shabbat. Every Shabbat, we read Torah. We read a Haftarah along with the Torah, and that comes from what section of the Bible?
Nevi'im.
Nevi'im. Right? Every once in a while, we read a Megillah, and all of the Megillot are in Ketuvim. So that we have Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim all being highlighted tomorrow. So step back. What other Megillot are connected with what other holidays in which the same thing occurs?
Purim.
Okay, Purim. Let's hear from anyone else. What Megillah do we read on Purim?
Esther.
Esther. Yes. So now you see Esther is a Megillah to Purim. Let's go on.
Shavuot.
Ruth.
Shavuot. What Megillah do we read on Shavuot?
Ruth.
Ruth.
Ruth. And we could talk about why. Not today. Yes. So Esther, Ruth, more.
Ecclesiastes for Sukkot.
Ecclesiastes for Sukkot. Yeah, Mary, and you know, that is one of the most complicated things to try to explain, but I won't do it today. How Ecclesiastes' worldview connects with the events of Sukkot, but that was done primarily so that rabbis in pulpits will have sermon topics. And so, no, that's Ecclesi, that's very important. One more.
Tisha B'Av.
Okay, what do we read Tisha B'Av?
Eicha. Lamentations.
Yes, we read Lamentations. I would begin chanting that with you and for you, but then all of you would mute me. Now, we're there. One last 5 Megillot, each attached to a holiday. What's the holiday Megillah for Passover?
Shir
Song of
Hashirim.
Songs.
Shir HaShirim, Song of Songs. Interesting. The book of Esther is really referred to as the Megillah. So when you say, you know, Are you reading the Megillah this year? You're not talking about Song of Songs. You're talking about Esther. And Esther is the only Megillah that is read with accompanying special blessings. So we're going to read Song of Songs tomorrow. We'll read it. It'll be wonderful. We'll enjoy it. A lot of sexual language. It's really cool. And the words are familiar. We enjoy the melodies, but there's no special blessing for it. Okay. And by the way, you did eliminate one very important use of the word Megillah in Yiddish.
Johnson Megillah.
You're doing well, Miriam. The Ganze Megillah. The Ganze Megillah means in Yiddish, the whole thing. Did you just finish War and Peace? The Ganze Megillah. Oh, wow. Okay. So the Ganze Megillah, it's all that. It's all that. And also interesting is that the Megillot have been associated with these holidays for over 2,000 years. You might want to ask, hey, Davids, how do you know that? I mean, you're old, but not that old. How do you know? How do you know that the Megillot have been associated with their holidays all this time? I would never, by the way, that's another one of the secrets. I would never ask myself a question to which I did not know the answer. There is a midrash, a collection of rabbinic teachings and so forth, midrash, Reshit, Rabbah, the great midrashim, and in it, that particular set of midrashim addresses the festival and the associated, or the holiday and the associated Megillah. So when you go into the Midrash Rabbah, the great Midrash collection, 2,000 years old, you already will find Purim and Esther, Pesach, Song of Songs, and so forth. That is, to me, a lot of fun. Some things have points of origin, and this is great to be able to bring new dimensions to the holiday. Now, is there a hand up? I saw, no? Okay, I thought I saw a hand, but then again, we don't know. Ivan, do you have your hand up or?
Oh, I was just scratching my arm, but thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ivan is scratching his arm. You know, that's cool. That's very good. Okay. Now, continuing. Give me a familiar verse from, hi, Rick Sanchez. I didn't see you before, but now I see you. Okay. Give me a familiar verse from out of Song of Songs. Anybody?
I'm my beloved and my beloved is mine.
Where is Mickey? He should be here when you say that. Yeah. Ani ladodi vadodi li. I am my beloved is mine. Yep. That is Song of Songs. What else?
I am black and beautiful. Torah ani v'nava.
Well, I mean, that's a great line. Boy, that has been open to all kinds of interpretations. Is she saying, I'm an outdoors girl and I am deeply suntanned? Or is she saying, I am black and beautiful? Right? That's open for all kinds of questions. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, anything else? Arise, my beloved, and come away. I love that. Arise, my beloved, and come away. The voice of the turtle is heard in the land. As a teenager, I never understood that. How could the voice of a turtle be heard in the land? And then someone said, the translation may say turtle, but it's referring to a turtle dove. I didn't know that. I thought they had talking turtles. Okay, so your love is better than wine. Huh, that's great. Okay, or this is good. Let me be a seal upon your heart, for love is stronger than death. Love is stronger than death. They're great lines. Okay, let's go to the text.
Okay.
What do we know about the Song of Songs? What do you know about the Song of Songs? Tell me, teach me. What do you know about the Song of Songs?
It was written by Solomon.
Okay, we're going to put
Solomon
that,
is a young man.
Miriam is saying, we're going to put that in a box and hold it. It was written by Solomon as a young man, but she's saying Solomon as a young man in order to put that writing next to something else which Solomon was supposed to have written. What is that?
Kohelet.
Kohelet. And
Psalms.
people ask, well, how could the same guy have written this incredible love poem and then written vanity of vanities, all is vanity, you know, the water ebbs and flows, sun rises and sets, you know, the rich die, the poor die, the smart die, the dumb die, all life miss vanity. And the answer the rabbis give, well, Solomon wrote Song of Songs as a kid. He wrote Kohelet as an older person. Okay, but we're going to hold that one, Miriam. We're going to hold. What else do we know about Song of Songs? Yes, please. Nancy.
It's a metaphor. Not only is it about lovers, but it's a metaphor for Israel and the Jewish people, meant to be.
Okay,
Kind of
we're
love.
going to hold on to that. What else do we know about Song of Songs?
It doesn't have God's name.
Doesn't have God's name. Hold on to that. By the way, the book of Esther has similar problems. Yes, okay. What else? What else do we know about Song of Songs? What else do we know? Anybody else? Okay, we'll go. I have a couple of things here. One thing, if you talk about Kohelet, you know, oh my God, he's talking about this attitude about life and the very limited value. We live, we die, nothing is worth anything. Fine. That's a thought. Serious philosophy. If you deal with lamentations, you're dealing with pain and sorrow, the destruction, fine. What are the great overriding philosophic themes inside Song of Songs? You're right, not much.
Love.
Yeah, love. Yeah, love.
No, positive.
I'm into love. Love. Yeah, that's good. Love is fine. I am a proponent of love. But please.
It's a positive view of sexuality that we don't find very often in Jewish texts.
Absolutely good. A positive view of sexuality with very explicit descriptives. But that's not typical of the wisdom literature of 2,200 years ago, right? So yeah, that's a major theme, but it doesn't typify wisdom literature. Anything else about the Song of Songs? Anything else? Anyone else? Okay, there are no grand social justice themes here. Take care of the widow, the orphan, none of it like that. You are my chosen people. I have selected you from among the, not there. You violated the Torah. You're going to be punished forever. You're going to have to eat chometz on Pesach. Not there. It's not there. It is, Karen points out, a wonderful celebration of sexuality. No mission, no Torah, no covenant, no great social justice themes. What about its dating? Now, Miriam mentioned written by Solomon. Solomon dates
8th century.
Second,
go 9th. If David is around 1000, but you know, whatever, it's a kind of a long time ago. Did Solomon write this? Most scholars assert absolutely not. No connection between the Song of Songs and Solomon. Why did they figure Solomon wrote it? Why? Why? Why did they figure Solomon?
Was it because it was during the time he lived?
It wasn't written during the time he lived. They asserted that it was because they wanted him to be the author. It went backwards. Let's have Solomon be the author. Okay, then it must have been written in Solomon's time. Neither is true. What was Solomon's reputation?
Many wives. Many wives. Lots of sex.
He was again, I'm going to assert, because I know my wife is on this, I'm going to assert that he was happy with his wives. Yes. And then there were ancillary friends and subsidiary friends, and he made friends with kings, and then he married their daughter. I mean, he had an active life, and he didn't die young, which is nice. Now, he was known to be a man involved with love. He was also known to be really rich. Rich, lover, king. Whoa. He also, the Midrash is big on this. The Midrash describes Solomon as being able to speak with the animals, and Solomon understood all things about the natural world. He really was deeply connected. Who else could have written the Song of Songs? So it must be Solomon. Problem, it wasn't. Okay, not at all. Well, let's go on. Wasn't Solomon? Was it part of the wisdom literature? Already indicated, the wisdom literature, which comes in the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and goes into the modern, the contemporary era, has a certain set of guidelines and structures. Song of Songs, not it. Song of Songs, not wisdom literature. Can you compare the thought of Proverbs or Job, of Ecclesiastes, which are wisdom literature, with Song of Songs? I mean, Song of Songs may be much more fun to read than Job. But when you're done, you have this happy image of female physiology and the lover dancing across the hills. That's good stuff, but it's not Job. Okay, so what is it? There's no great intellectual and ethical awareness that the others have. What do we have in the Song of Songs? We have two lovers yearning for each other. They really want each other, and their memories of their love and their conversations. Interesting thing about the Song of Songs, you can read the chapters in any order. It doesn't flow like, I met him online, I swiped, what do you have to do, right? Whatever, I did it, and then we met, and then we got to know each other, then we danced on the hilltops, and then we found ourselves on a mountaintop watching a sunset. That's progression. Doesn't exist in the book. Each chapter could be read alone. My friends, what is the Song of Songs? It's a secular love poem. a secular love poem filled with sexual allusions. Filled. Part of my evil side believes that those sexual allusions really attracted the rabbis who spent a lot of time hunched over books. And if they could find a book like the song, I'm not going to go there, but they spent a lot of time thinking about the Song of Songs, and the therapists and psychologists among you can deal with it any way you like. There was a great battle among the rabbis. Do we bring Song of Songs into the canon? C-A-N-O-N. What is a canon? What is canon? Lynn, you were muted, so I didn't hear you. I know you know
Collection of holy books.
the collection of holy books.
The Jewish books.
So the Tanakh was canonized in the year approximately 100 CE. That's when the canon was closed. There are all kinds of reasons for it, but that's when the canon was closed. But the rabbis argued about what goes in and what goes out. And some great work has been left out, like Ecclesiasticus. Great book, beautiful, didn't make it in. If Ecclesiasticus had not been preserved by Christians, we probably wouldn't have it. And yet it's a great book of Jewish thought, forming the canon. When they were canonizing the Tanakh and finishing, the rabbis had a kerfuffle, an argument. And some said, hey, this is a secular love, which was. This is a secular love poem. How could it possibly get into the Tanakh? Rabbi Akiva, one of my contemporaries, someone I know really well, said this. I quote my friend. He who sings the Song of Songs in wine taverns, treating it as if it were a vulgar song, listen to the punishment, forfeits his place in the world to come. The Arabic response to that is Gewalt. Gewalt. If I treat the Song of Songs like a secular love poem and sing it in taverns, I will lose my place in the world to come. I am toast, not avocado toast, toast. But what does Akiva's pronouncement tell us about the Song of Songs? Please, yes. Talia.
That it's sacred?
It is today. Was it really in Akiva's time? Let me give you a hint. When a rabbi yells that something is forbidden, what can you be certain?
Everybody will read it.
They're doing it. They're doing it. So all the things that never, don't commit adultery. Uh-oh. Right? Don't steal. Uh-oh. When all these things are out there, you can be certain. You can be no cheeseburgers. People are eating cheeseburgers, right? Now, when Akiva said, if anyone takes the Song of Songs and sings it in a tavern like a bawdy love song, you will lose your place in the world to come. What does that tell you?
People were having a good time.
That's an evaluative comment, but at least factually.
I think it means that there's another way to sing it. There's another way to sing it, which is in a, like somebody else said it, in more, makes it kosher, sacred.
Yeah, you're nicer than I am. And by the way, you'll find out over the other times we will have to study together that most of you are nicer than I am. And that's fine. I tend to take the view, yeah, it wasn't a sacred song until they made it sacred.
Yeah.
But in its original usage, oh, here comes my beloved dancing upon the mountains. Your breasts are like ivory towers, your lips are da 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 da. This taka was not sacred. This was a wonderful love song, which goes along with it. Drink, 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 let every two fountain. It goes with that kind of stuff. Okay, now we're going to see that the rabbis took this not as metaphor, but as allegory. Allegory. And by the time the rabbis are through making the Song of Songs into an allegory, you'd never recognize it. What's the allegory? Anyone, what is the allegory? You may have heard it. What's the allegory?
God and Israel.
Yeah, God and Israel.
God
God's love
and
for
Israel.
Okay, who gets the role of God?
The man.
Male.
I love it. Yes. I just saw Karen begin to tear her hair out. Yes. Okay. Now, the role of God goes to the role of the man goes to God. The role of the woman goes to the Jewish people. Where else do we have a great rabbinic focus on the relationship with the Jewish people and God as being that of a wedded couple? Where else do we find that?
In Hosea, in the prophet Hosea.
Yeah, well, Jose, you're really doing good, Miriam. I'm not going to let you on next time. In Hosea.
It was a question. It was a question.
Yeah, that was a polite way of saying, I know it. Okay.
No, I really don't.
But yes, Hosea certainly talks about that love relationship. Absolutely. But, and condemns Israel for adultery when it commits idolatry. Yeah. Now, long before Hosea, in the rabbinic imagination, what happens at Mount Sinai? What happens at Mount Sinai long before there was a Song of Songs? Yes, indeed. Nancy's going like this, for which I take it to mean like
Contract.
Well, they didn't
Right.
contact because it was under a chuppah. They were at Mount Sinai. They were getting married. And before, in those days, no touching, negia, was absolutely forbidden. Now, so the image of God and the Jewish people being lovers is one of the great vehicles to understanding the Song of Songs. The bride is yearning, the people of Israel yearning for God, and God returns that yearning with love. Some rabbis will go even further. How then do they refer to the Torah in that kind of allegory? What's the Torah?
Child.
The ketubah. The
Wow.
Torah is the ketubah. Man and wife, the document that lists their mutual obligations, the ketubah. Now, forget the fact that that's not the way the Song of Songs author or authors, we do not know, intended. But the rabbis made it allegory, and through allegory brought it into the canon. Karen a little bit referenced a reason why much earlier. The rabbis knew what they were dealing with, yet they ascribed it to Solomon, and they taught allegory. They really wanted Song of Songs in the Bible. In other words, the rabbis made a serious choice. They could read They understood. They knew how the Song of Songs was being utilized out there on the street. And yet they wanted that Song of Songs in this canon. Yes, it was a celebration of healthy sexuality. Yes, it was a celebration of love, but even more. In the rising debates between early Christianity, nascent Christianity, and Judaism, the early Christian teachers were saying, ours is a God of love, yours is a God of law. The rabbis were profoundly motivated to bring a book into the heart of the sacred literature that was a celebration of God loving our people. So there are a lot of things that went into how this happened, but believe me, the rabbis were aware. Now, let's move a little bit closer to our own time. 13th century, 14th century. What's going on in Jewish intellectual thought? What's going on then?
Mysticism.
Pardon?
Mysticism.
Kabbalistic.
I want to stop right there. She's right. Nancy, class next time is yours. Yes, mysticism, Kabbalah. And the Kabbalah takes the Song of Songs, Lurianic Kabbalah, takes the Song of Songs and embeds it within Jewish mystical content. The woman, the Jewish people, the man, God. And what happens, careful in your use of language as you answer, what happens when that love is consummated? What happens? Anybody? You're little Jews. No. Unity within the universe. God representing the celestial, the woman representing the material, the spiritual and the material come together. There is achdut, there is unity, and unity unifying all of the universe into a single cosmic organism is a major goal. That cosmic harmony, a major goal of Kabbalah. Every Friday evening, we sing a song leading up to the main service that draws heavily from the Song of Songs because of Lurianic Kabbalah. What song?
Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi. The language of Lecha Dodi is language derivative of the Song of Songs, put through the glasses, if you will, of Lurianic Kabbalists who want to bring the theme of love into their search for cosmic harmony. That's fun. That's fun to think about. These things didn't just happen. Those words didn't just pop out of the air, or as we say in Yiddish, out of the Welterine. It didn't just happen that way. There were reasons, there is history, there is tradition. But there is a serious problem when we deal with allegory. Once you say this book is allegory, and I'll tell you what the allegory is all about, what do you open the door to?
God didn't write it.
Talia, yeah?
Misinterpretation?
Pardon?
like a bastardization of it, like a manipulation of it to,
Yeah.
How about-
Bastardization is a little tough, but yeah.
God didn't write it then? If it's an allegory, then God didn't write it.
God didn't write it. And we have a key to interpretation. And the Catholic Church said, you're right. The Song of Songs is allegory. Whoa. And it's ours and not yours. Who is the lover? The Christ.
Mhm.
Who is the woman? The church.
Oh, Mary.
Oh, Mary comes in later. Yes, indeed. She is allegorized into the Song of Songs as well, but later. So one of the reasons for the rabbis canonizing this allegorized Song of Songs is to lay strong claim to the belief that there is love, strong love, Yahafta. There is strong love within Judaism, and the church responds by saying, oh, cool, you're right. It is allegory. It's the allegory of the Christ embracing the church. Oops. We call that in biblical studies the banquet of unintended consequences. That did happen. So, rolling down toward, we have just a few minutes left, rolling down toward the end of our wonderful time together. I'm having fun, and you'll also know this about me. It isn't important to me that you're having fun. I'm having fun. I love this. And it's nice if you're having fun too. That's good. Okay, now, Song of Songs was a widely popular secular series of love songs, first ascribed to Solomon, and by doing so, legitimizing its place in Jewish tradition. It was allegorized before it could be canonized.
Mhm.
My last question to you, and we'll leave it open for 2 or 3 minutes of questions before we end. What's the connection with Passover? Okay, we get all this. David, you're a great teacher. Wow, all this stuff is now available. Why do we read that as the Megillah for Passover? What's the deal? Aha, challenging question. Karen?
I think it's the love relationship. If God loves us that deeply, God will bring us out of the dark place that is Egypt. And that notion that even today in the darkness that we experience, where is the notion of God's love that can help us either to live through this and to see the hope, the light that we can, imagine dancing amidst the olive trees and the apples in light and hope.
I'd come to listen to you teach anytime. Talia?
Okay. I have a
to
comment.
bring a sense of trust, because it's a trusting relationship. It doesn't look like the typical Bible stories of men and women where the women are often raped. So it seems to be possibly a message of trust between the people and God or each other.
Thank you. Okay. Abby?
Because wasn't it the first time that the people sang and danced was right after they, they crossed the Red Sea? And that was the only time, that was the first time there was a festival with people dancing and singing.
With Miriam, yeah. And the women dancing with the...
But that was the first time
Yes, good. We're doing well. Again, let's firm up the connection with Passover. Anyone else before I rudely intervene? Anyone else?
what was the same time when they crossed the sea. That's the story of Passover.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. This last thing, let's put a couple more pieces together. The rabbis viewed what happened at Mount Sinai as a marriage, right? God and the Jewish people and the Torah as the ketubah, right? The rabbis taught that in the 3 months that it took to go from Egypt to Mount Sinai, God was wooing the Israelites so that when they got to Sinai, they would enter beneath the chuppah and commit themselves to God. So the rabbis viewed the transit from Egypt, Passover, to Sinai, celebrated in Shavuot, as a time when God is pursuing his beloved. And so now we'll read the Song of Songs tomorrow as God calling out to us, you are my heart. You are my love. Come with me. Come to the mountain. Go up the mountain. Moses will go up the mountain. And maybe that's why the Israelites could say when Moses finally presented Torah to the Israelites, what did the people say? Naaseh
Ebenishma.
v'nishma. We get it, God. We love you. And in loving you, we trust you and commit ourselves to you. This has been great. Don, thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. This has been extraordinary. Chag Sameach, Moadim L'Simcha, Shabbat Shalom. Be safe. Pray for all the families in trouble. Remember all those who have passed away, and help us emerge from this time, never go back to the way things were, but to take the opportunity of a crisis and make our world a better place.
Thank you. Beautiful.
And to you, Toda Rabbah, thank you so much.
This was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi, for such a meaningful hour.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Okay. my
Beautiful.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Shabbat
much.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.